life when we have nothing. Okay, health and strength. We always say pushing forward as always in a positive vibes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the loyal subscribers. Thank you for taking the time out to come aboard and watch this content. I really appreciate you. I want to say happy Tuesday, Tuesday, right here. I'm almost the middle of the week. Oh my. Time waits for no one. That means we're on a buy time. So we have to make sure we make the best of it and appreciate the little bit of it that we have to have a conversation. Hope your day is doing well so far. Hope everything is great. Hope you're having a wonderful week so far and all of that. I want to say a big thank you for everyone who always watch our content when you get to. I want to say big respect for the ones that subscribe and always watch the content. I appreciate you. Not only that, guys, I want to say make sure that at the end of the day, you make sure that you like and you subscribe and all of that great things when it comes to the content, really quick and fast. So not only that, folks, we just want to talk about this content here. Your past will becomes your presence and all of that for this content. This lady basically is a green card holder. She works in the US. She ended up being detained by ICE. So this is a content that if you have a pass, look out to be detained by ICE. She went out, and by the time she get to the airport, she was held on by ICE. Okay, we also want to talk about Sean Kingston fraud case, guilty as charged. Yikes! Whoa, wowzers! Not only that as well, we want to talk about many other things that we want to try to put in one of this content. Remember, we said we're going to put one and two content in one, more than one topics in the content rather, and go on with herself in that same speed. Let's get on with this content quick and fast, and I'm going to be reading from the best of my ability. So let's jump in, let's dive in, and let's sit down and listen to this content quite so. When Madonna Cristobal landed at the airport near Seattle in February, she and her aunt waited in the same line for customs. Cristobal, a U.S. citizen, sailed through. Then she waited for her aunt and waited. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. Cristobal said, I started to worry. And then I am like, oh, what the heck is going on? Cristobal's aunt, Lewin Dixon, had been detained by U.S. Customs at the Border Protection. Dixon is a lawful permanent resident who has lived in the U.S. for 50 years since the family immigrated to the U.S. from the Philippines. She has traveled internationally many times with her green card and never had any trouble coming back to the U.S. until now, underneath the Donald Trump era. So what did I shout? Your past will becomes your present, the criminal record, right? We had a great time visiting our homeland, visiting family, Cristobal said. My aunt don't deserve this. It was only after Cristobal and her sister hired a lawyer that they found out why Dixon, who is 64 years old, was detained. A felony conviction. Why she was detained? So remember I came to you guys in the past a couple of days ago and I said, hey guys, I'm going to talk about this topic coming through the week. I'm just highlighting the topic, but we're going to come and discuss it. This is the same topic that I said. The lady been in the U.S. 50 years and detained by ICE. Your past becomes your present, okay? So I never tell a lie. Anything I say that I am talking about in the content, I will come either revisit it, give you the facts about it, receipts about it, or we'll discuss it, okay? Real deal. All right. A felony conviction for embezzling nearly 6,500 from the bank where she worked more than 20 years ago is still on her record. So when people are talking about expunging your record, getting a pardon on your record, you gotta do so. Here she is go back and forth spending all these money and trips, and I'm not knocking her, but here she didn't expulge her criminal record. When the criminal record maybe is to expulge over 20 years, maybe would have been cheaper through a lawyer more than many of those trips, I would think. But you can't tell anybody what to do. And I'm not being jealous or bad mind, guys. I'm just saying rather, sometimes you have to make sure you clean up certain things and do certain things when it comes to your life, because you never know when your past becomes your presence. Yeah? Anyways, let's continue. So what was the issue? She had a felony conviction for embezzling nearly 6,500 from the bank where she worked more than 20 years ago is still on her record. At the time, Dixon pleaded guilty and paid a fine. According to her lawyer, she never served any jail time, though she did spend a month in a halfway house. But now any past infraction can loom large as immigration authorities ramp up enforcement at airports and border crossings. Oh no. It's a maximum enforcement these days, said Benjamin Osorio, an immigration lawyer who representing Dixon. Traveling to the U.S. from abroad has gotten riskier underneath the Trump administration's crackdown, even for people with valid visas and green card, immigration lawyer says. There isn't a lot of explanation, said Ben Johnson, executive director of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. There isn't a lot of consistency on what they are doing, except trying to find any and every reason to prevent people from coming back into the United States, and every reason to try to kick people out of the United States, Johnson said. So stick up in there. If that lady been in the U.S. over 50 years, and she's 65 years old now, many countries you retire at least at the age of 65 or 69, depends on if you want to still continue to work. Therefore, when they throw her out, there's no pension she's going to get. So all of her taxes, all the money, all of this that she was saving, all of these kind of things, and maybe possible, all the money in the bank, she never hook up any bank to her country because she's only visiting. So she said, you know what, I'm only going to spend what I have and come back to where I live. So maybe her savings would have stayed in the bank. Her pension she wouldn't be receiving any pension because now she's 65. You're going to throw her back in the Philippines to start all over. So basically, she's going to be poorer than how she would be, or if she was, because at the end of the day, she would have to start all over. And then she's 65. What's she going to go to the Philippines to go and do now? She's already working in the U.S. and going back and forth to her country. Not only that, she wouldn't get any pension. So most of these people that you see in this country, even that guy, the Harlem community leader, don't you see that he's on deportation as well, almost detained by ICE because of something he did 30 something years in jail, and that crime would be equivalent now to 6 years, and now he's going to be almost going to be deported to Jamaica. Right? So your green card or your visa cannot help you in these Trump time. I'm trying to get at, I'm trying to hammer home. So I don't want to take a long road to tell you guys, beware, be careful. If you have any charges, you go be picked up by ICE anytime. Let's continue. Border officials are taking a hard line with green card holders who have minor offenses on their records, like I said. That includes Fabian Smith, a New Hampshire man originally from Germany, who was detained possibly because a decade-old misdemeanor charged for marijuana possession in California that was later dismissed. Okay. International tourists have been swept up too. 2 German visitors were detained in California over suspicious that they were planning to work or stay permanently in the United States. And a backpacker from the United Kingdom was held for 3 weeks because of a mix-up with her visa. Her father, Paul Burke, says she was transported to the airport for deportations in shackles. She's not a Hannibal Lecter, Burke told the BBC. You guys know who Hannibal Lecter is. In a statement, Customs and Border Protection, CBP, says it's simple enforcement immigration laws. Those who violate these laws will be processed, detained, and removed as required. CBP Assistant Commissioner Hilton Beckham said in a statement in the NPR, green card holders who have not broken any U.S. laws, committed application fraud, or failed to apply for re-entry permit after a long period of travel have nothing to fear about entering and exiting the country. So you could exit or you could enter, long as you don't have any criminal record, so to speak. Let's continue. Border officers have always had a lot of discretion when deciding whom to allow into the country, says former CBP commissioners Jill Kolarski, although the question whether his heightened scrutiny is the best use of resources. Some of these detentions don't seem appropriate, said, especially if it was a relative minor charge. I meant that's just a waste of taxpayers' dollars, don't you think? No, duh. Several countries in Europe have updated their travel guidance for the United States. The German government warned that false information, past criminal records, or even minor visa overstay could lead to an arrest, detention, and deportation. It's hard to say how many green card holders or travelers have been detained, but immigration lawyers say there are likely more of these cases that haven't been reported. Lewin Dixon detention has devastated her family. Auntie Lynn has been the rock of our family, said Cristobal, Dixon's niece. She has been what you would call an older sister to us, more than an auntie, because she's been through our marriages, our divorces, our pregnancy, our children's birth. Dixon left the Philippines when she was 14, along with Cristobal and her siblings, helping them build a new life in the USA, United States of America, guys. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section. We can discuss this even more better. So if you have a criminal record, guys, and you have a green card, look out to be in problem when it comes to immigration. No doubt, no doubt. Just being honestly as the way how we can see the story, as we can see the other story of Harlem Godfather or Harlem community leader, and all of that. We see stories on top of stories on top of stories on top of stories. So therefore, if you don't believe me, what says you folks? So we're just moving on, so to speak, moving right on, right on, right on. Since we're talking about Donald Trump, we want to bring it here. As you guys know, that Donald Trump, David Olive Trump, may want to take over Canada, but beating us into submission with tariff isn't going to work. And you guys know that the reason why Trump did tariff is because he claims that there's so much fentanyl and all of these things are coming over the border from Canada, from Mexico, and yada, yada, yada. And you guys know that the tariff, if you guys know the history of tariff was basically initiated, came about basically in the 1979. And you guys know the trade from the long time from the native Indians, and the list go on, and the free trade and all of these things, good things, if you know your history or you know a little bit of this and that. Moving on. Not only that, guys, we also want to talk about U.S. said to revoke several transnationally oil gas company license to operate in Venezuela. So, you know, in Venezuela, most of these oil, this is where it's operated. See? So what do you think gonna happen now, guys? Now we're gonna be fighting over oil again. Maybe gas is gonna get some more expensive again. So we had to come and highlight this again. Not only that, guys, we want to talk about you remember this young girl with the Epstein story. Remember the prince, you know, the prince from the UK, the prince, they claim that he had some kind of relationship with her when she was 17. And remember, there was an out court settlement for Prince Andrew, accuser, that he had to pay some kind of money. And I said, oh my God. So why did he pay the money if he didn't even know her? Why did he pay the money if he claimed say that he never had sweaty palm? Why did he even pay the money if he claimed that he never, ever, 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 not me, who, me, then who, ever saw her? So why there was a settlement that he paid? Anywho, anyhow, we're not going to drag it out, guys. Virginia Giuffre, Prince Andrew accuser, faced the court for breaching restraining order after claiming she had days to live. So apparently she claimed that she got into a accident. She claimed that her kidney or some sort was failing. She had 4 days to live, as you guys could see. I see right there. She was given 4 days. She made an Instagram post. Yada, yada, boo, do. You know, when it comes to medical, you guys know when it comes to mental health, you know that these people are putting everything on mental health. So once you post that, and when they check out the accident, that none of those injury was reported, none of those allegation came from the doctor or the hospital, then you know that she's gonna be preying her like, what's going on? Is girlfriend cuckoo? What's going on at this point in time? What's happening? So when the police did their statement and gave their statement, because everybody was digging because of the situation, when she went to when the police came out, the police said that there was no injury in the accident case of Virginia Giuffre, Prince Andrew accuser, and all of that. So right now she's gonna be facing court for breaching restraining order after claiming she had days to live. Imagine, oh, imagine that somebody will come and post that, all of that. Anyways, wrapping up this live, moving on. Now, people, rapper Sean Kingston and his mother, okay? I can't fathom that you as a mother, this boy really don't have no songs, really, okay? Beautiful girl, they die, they da da do. A doom dum da do doom doom. I really don't know the song. I am just humming it like I should, maybe rather not. And I'm just being sarcastic, rather being, and I won't even bother waste my time. Rather just kiss my teeth and pass, literally. Next. I mean, people, I don't know where to begin. Like, why would you, as a mother, you know, you have some moms out here that will use the kids' social, they will use their kids to get apartment, they will use their kids' name, knowing that they already wrecked their name and wreck the kids' them life. And when the kids them get big, they can't get a phone, they can't get an apartment, they can't do anything. So a mother will help her son, or the son will help a mother to take all of these things, knowing that there's really no income coming in, really, and will take all of these TV. This situation started from this man took some home system of some TV. Why do you need all of those things in a rented home? So everybody wants to live big, luxurious life. All of these, this, that. But don't live by your means. I mean, we all love great and good things, but fraud and all of those things. And we also know that possible fraud charges and stuff usually come with a fine, or maybe probation, or sometimes jail time. But the mom would be a second felony because the mom did get herself in trouble already from a fraud, and I think she did do some kind of time already. So if you want to fraud, you can fraud. But why end up having your child to help you along? You know, we can't even say allegedly no more because you're found guilty. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't know who would do such a thing. But you have some moms out here, they're very vile. And we know at times, guys, the law and the court system more times is not on our side, but it's blatant. It's right there now, looking us in our eyes like fraud. You didn't pay for the people, them things like, repossession and all of these things. I mean, we all go through hard times. And we know at the end of the day, guys, maybe things are not really working out how he thought it would be when it comes to his music and beautiful girl and the whole list and the whole 9 yard. But really? Oh man. Like, I just have to really like I don't know. I don't even know what to say. So that's what I come to shout out, guys, to speak to you guys about, and to give you guys a good 1 and 2 content, more likely to get into some other different stuff that we really wanted to talk about, so to speak, right? And all of that. So um, you know, sometimes you gotta really be mindful at times and stuff like that, because I just feel like, no, possible you're gonna go to jail because you're a reoffender. Maybe your son is gonna get probation, but who wants all of that on you, on your record, right? Who wants all of that in the record? And I believe Sean Kingston mom is a Jamaican as well. So if she's not a citizen, then shortly they may be gonna hear that she's detained by ICE. So hopefully she's an American citizen. But if she's not, then you're gonna hear she's gonna be held on by ICE. Oh no. Because of those charges and those previous charge. And usually when you're going through a court, that's when ICE will get you. ICE is getting you when you're reporting. ICE is getting you at the work. ICE is getting you everywhere if you have a criminal record. So hopefully that is planned out, match out, that her paperwork is situated in the States and it's good as in gold. Okay, so moving on, like I said, guys, Tuesday. Hey, Tuesday, big up on a nice clean self for coming by, stopping by when you can. At the end of the day, guys, like I said, big thank you again for passing by, and enough respect for stopping by to watch the live and watch the content at all times. At the end of the day, we can't forget to shout, work hard, play hard, but don't forget to save a little. When you work, you always accounted for. When you're busy, idle mind is a devil's playground. Don't forget that. Keep on moving on. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And subscribe, no man. And at the end of the day, people, to the people in my life who make me smile, love me, and support me, and bring me joy, thank you very much. And at the end of the day, guys, peace and love. And at the end of the day, guys, peace and love.